Not yet. Hello. 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 Oh, we want music. This isn't going to be like that kind of stream, guys. This is going to be... Ooh, that's going to be loud, maybe.
Oh, I should put it on.
Oh, this is nice. You can pick your music that you chill out to, or you can listen to this. Mine's lo-fi. Yeah, everyone in chat is gonna. Hi, chat.
I am waving. You can't see.
Yes, John is behind the black curtain of anonymity today. Welcome. This is going to be different. This is gonna be a chill hangout. We'll talk about anything and everything, really. Well, that's not true. Let me know that's loud. I still think that's loud.
Wait,
God,
can we
why
just
is it
back
so
up to the
loud?
music thing? So wait, I totally opened Sirenscape.
Oh,
We're
it's
gonna
not through
share-
Sirenscape. Sorry, no.
We're not gonna share tunes.
No, it's just it's a YouTube study music playlist. I can send it to you.
See,
Sorry.
is that not a copyright hit somehow?
No, there's no copyright. It says no copyright lo-fi beats to relax study to.
Oh,
So that's
I
my-
know what you're. Okay.
I mean, I know what you're talking about too, but it's like, I guess because you credit them, then it's fine to play on Twitch.
It's just-
I always curious about those rules.
I don't know. I've done it before. Other people
It's fine.
use these no copyright playlists, but you'll notice
Yeah.
like the songs are the same songs. So
Yeah.
so I mean, it's definitely like it's not like there's a huge pool of the music out there. They just all the playlists I think are like some general combination of like 30 songs.
Yeah.
Welcome. It's Wednesday. We're not doing the Heroes of Salon tonight. We are taking a break, and we will be back next week. With what? Honestly, I don't know. There's a lot of things that could happen. We left.
We're in fight.
Yes. So I mean, the group was in fight. Obviously, we're coming back to the fight. But after the fight, we have Ashley, who's been gone for a while. She might be ready to come back, and like that's hard to do if we're in a cave.
We miss you. Come back. She won't be watching this, but
Maybe she will later though, and then she'll appreciate that.
As a VOD.
Yep.
So, I'm Colin. I am the DM of Heroes of Salon here on Fable 42 Wednesday nights. With me is two of my players. Chelsea, since you're the one they can see, why don't you introduce yourself? And just for kicks, what is your favorite D&D spell?
oh gosh. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So I am paying attention. I was very late on the game, posting to social media to come watch us on Twitch TV/Fable42 because
Well, they're already here.
I was late on my platform to promote us for the night, so that's what I was just doing. Finally got that done.
Oh, that's not the
and,
color I want.
Yeah, I'm Chelsea. Mostly on Instagram as Chelsea Bell. Favorite spell? Okay, well, I haven't got to use all of them or play with all of them because
That's
I haven't
fair.
played all the spellcaster classes yet. So,
Well, and I mean, how often have you played a high-level campaign? There's probably a lot of high-level spells that none of us have ever
Yeah.
used.
yeah, I mean, I got to level 13, 14 a couple times, but only got to play for so long before things fizzled out. And how about a spell I'm looking forward to using that I haven't got to
Ooh, I
use
like that.
yet,
I like that. I like that. Yep.
which is very situational, and I almost don't want to tell you because it's my DM right now. No, which is the Gift of Gab.
Ooh, what is that? I don't even know. I don't think I know it. So
the Gift of Gab I know is at least a bard spell. It may only be a bard spell. Chat, let me know. And it's where you can basically choose whoever's surrounding you by a certain amount of feet to not rewrite their memory, but kind of anything that they may have just heard that you said, you can alter their memory to that they heard something else.
jeez.
So maybe you put your foot in your mouth, or you give away a secret, or you're in front of the king and you insult him or something. You can be like, "Bloop, bloop, bloop, bloop."
Man, Shay doesn't have any secrets. What are you talking about?
I mean, yeah, right? She's an open book.
See, I don't know how well though, because if you were in front of a king and doing that, then you're like casting a spell right in front of a king.
You're right. Let's check out what are the components of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
John-
probably just herbal.
I would if it is, that'd be fun. Like, then it should be okay. But...
Yeah.
For those watching the mini painting, I am doing white first because this you can see on screen some art of this miniature I'm doing. This is a tiefling outlander, which if you watch the HoSa side quest, you have heard of them. Kind of this cool demonic samurai aesthetic going on. But the eyes are going to look funny. All of my miniatures start off looking like clowns because I do their eyes, and if they have like lipstick or something, I do it first, so they look very ridiculous. But it's because it's a base layer, and then I can use the skin tones and stuff to shape the eyes and the mouth and stuff like that. So
Fascinated now by his painting, like big off. Okay, yes. The components: verbal, somatic, material, and it says R with an asterisk.
Ritual.
Royalty component.
ritual? It can
No,
be cast
royalty. Component. 2 gold
Royalty.
pieces.
Too cold. What?
It just I've never seen this before. It says royalty component, and then it says 2 gold pieces. But on top of, so that must be the material, but it says, I don't know.
I don't know what that means. I'm gonna have to look that up. Royalty component. Does that you have to sacrifice part of your royal heritage just to perform this ability?
Interesting, but yes, I'm definitely gonna have that in my back pocket as shit.
Very cool. All right, John. Who are you?
Hi. I am John. I play D&D variously and run games variously.
Variously? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Is that a word? Variously?
Is it not?
Yeah.
I
Totally
feel
works.
it is.
Being of variety? Being of various nature?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
I don't know. I
You're
don't
the
teach
Backing you up,
English.
John. Backing you
I
up.
don't teach English. Yeah, that's me. I'm here to play, or actually right now I'm doing some school stuff because that's the life of a teacher.
Yes. We've got teachers, we've got actors, we have scientists.
I realized I didn't say anything about myself except my name. Was I
You-
supposed to like do a proper intro? I'm
Yeah, like was there something else? Or
I'm
just...
so bad.
Learn to pronounce adverb in several or different ways. Learn to pronounce.
I just
What?
copy and pasted it.
Yeah, but
So
it doesn't
I
make
think,
sense, does it?
I think the learn to pronounce is next to the like variously
Oh,
and then you press the button and
got
it
you,
pronounces-
got you.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's funny. His early successes can be variously accounted for in several or different ways. Cool. I'm going to use that in a sentence. Not right now. Someday.
You apply paint to your minis in variously different ways.
I do. There's dry brush. There's base coat. There's highlighting. There's washes. It is an involved process.
So, Colin,
Yes.
how long have you been painting minis?
It's close to a year, maybe a little over a year. As you may know, if you're a fan of our show, it's sponsored by Wildspire Miniatures. He is a friend of mine. I went to college with him. He ended up moving to China and had some executive type job, but then discovered, honestly, I have no idea how, discovered how cheap it was to 3D print plastic in China. Like getting them to do it was relatively cheap. And so he went on, there's a Patreon, MZ2450. Miguel Zavala is his name. And he does the 3D modeling, and he just has he has a Patreon account, and he has this massive collection of 3D models for printing for miniatures. And he has a tier on his Patreon that lets you sell. It's a merchant tier, so you can use his models, print them out, and sell them. And so that's what he did for his first kind of set. His first set was a townsfolk set. That was the theme of it, It was just people that it was interesting townsfolk, people you would find that wouldn't be in a normal townsfolk set, but there are like extras and NPCs. And so it was 18 miniatures, and I met up with him at a bachelor party for our buddy's wedding, a guy we lived with in college. You remember Paul, John?
I do, yes.
We met up at his wedding, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I do this now." I was like, "Well, I write a kids game. I've been doing a lot of like, I played D&D. He never played. Ryan had never played D&D. Getting into the miniatures side of it. No, his first game.
Does he play now though?
Yeah, we have a game with a group of fraternity guy friends that we have, but we haven't played in months and months and months. I started them off on. You've heard me talk about this campaign, John. I started them off on Dungeon Master Dave's big game that he came out with, Omeria. It was a Kickstarter. What happened? Did your cat or your dog?
My house is just falling apart.
Was that a blinds coming down?
No, it was a light fixture. It just came out of my ceiling. About that, everyone.
Well, I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good here. There's nothing above me now. Continue. Sorry for the interruption.
So that's the game he's in now, but he joined the test group for the NPC quests. So back to he was like, I want, would you be interested in making some content for these miniatures? Like I said, he had 18 townsfolk. And so he had made character sheets, hoping that would boost their utility. But I could tell he'd never played D&D before, because some of the character sheets had level 5, like rogue or barbarian. It was very like specific, and it had like abilities and spells. Those were good. But then he also had like the old NPC classes, like baker. One of them was a baker, and it was like I don't know what it's called, but it's like not the fighter, but the warrior. There's all these classes that are like non-player classes. That the baker all these classes have 4 attacks. So this was a level 5 NPC that had 4 attacks, and several of them were like that. And I was like, you can't do this, man. Like, no one is gonna use it like this.
He's a deadly baker.
Right. He'll probably show up on my little scrolling thing. I'll point out some of the townsfolk when I see him pop up. So I helped him with the character sheets, and I wrote, overall, man, this is ridiculous. I wrote 18 NPC quests. It equated to about, what did I say? I want to say like 150 pages of writing. Of text. And so it's like every NPC had a short quest. So if you wanted to have your party meet an NPC, one of these NPCs that you got in your little townsfolk set, their name, it had dialogue, it had quest, it had homebrewed monsters, it had homebrewed magic items for loot, and each quest was
really cool.
10 pages long, like each little side quest, and they're all side quests too, so they're applicable. You just throw them. It doesn't matter where you are. Obviously, I built them around the cities in my world just because I had to. But if you the first 6 quests, if you have any port city, they'd work fine in. The second set of quests, it's a small farm kind of central inland town. The last 6 quests, guess what? Gorespire Keep.
Okay, so I won't go on.
Yeah, don't go look at. That's the one thing I think I remember saying one time is like, y'all can look at all the content, just don't go through all the Gorespire Keep PDF.
Okay. Is that because I've never purchased minis? Is that something that usually comes when you purchase minis? I thought you just purchase minis and you get them and then they're already painted or not and you use them.
Right. No, not at all. We were trying to do something very different.
Okay. Got
And
it.
because, his Kickstarters work really well because he's able to do quite a few minis for a pretty good price. Because the way the Kickstarter is, you don't have to, like, commit any money until you have the bulk sales. So he can really play around with the prices of those sets for the Kickstarter. And then they go up on Amazon, and honestly, he's fucking slaying on Amazon.
Good.
Those kits are, he's got, like, 4.5 stars with over 1,500 reviews on some of his
Wow.
sets. So the Amazon market for his sets are very good for him. Man, this paint's drying out before I even put it on. So I'm just chitter chatting.
You're just chitter chatting.
Just
Chitter chat. Love it. Hey, chitter chat. Anybody want to drop a question or an inquiry?
Always chat at any point.
Queries.
Feel free to drop questiones. Wait though, John, I need to know your spell.
Oh, right. Favorite spell? I'm a fan of a good old hold person.
Yep.
Hmm.
You know what I'd say lately? Playing in the campaigns I've played most recently, a spell that I think is very underrated. But I'm gonna follow it up with a caveat once I say the spell. Sleep. Sleep is a great area of effect spell. However,
Yes.
there are times, I don't know, when one time in a one shot I tried to use sleep and I didn't sleep a damn thing. Like, it's useful in certain situations, but it's not useful all the time.
Yes, and as a beginning player, I didn't understand how sleep worked until I looked into how people talked about this is how you should use it at the end of the battle or when you've already maybe exhausted the hit points of your enemies. Not at the beginning, maybe not at the middle.
Yes.
You want to do it at the end, so that you can actually hopefully put somebody to sleep.
Yeah. But in John's campaign, our wizard,
Yeah.
man,
Well, it might
he
be a
walked
sorcerer.
into a room of kobolds and slept like 6 of them, and massively changed a fight that I may or may have not started. And I was just like, that in that moment, sleep is the most powerful spell in my mind because of how it changed that combat.
Well, and then sleep, you don't have to, there's no roll, there's no save. It's just automatic.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
long
it's all-
as it.
Yeah, as long as the hit
As
points.
long as the hit points
Yeah.
work out, yeah.
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 I've been catching up on a certain campaign called Vox Machina.
Okay.
Little show.
Little thing.
People might know it.
And I got to a scene where somebody used Dominate Monster.
Uh-huh.
That was fun. I was like, I can't wait to be able to use something like that.
Yeah. Again, man, I just even in doing the homebrew stuff and making subclasses, you get to those level 15 abilities and you're like, this is the coolest thing. I can't wait for someone to use this and tell me how awesome it is. And then you realize no one's ever gonna use it. No one's ever getting to the 15th level. There's who out there is in a campaign that's playing at 15th level?
Well,
Wait,
then why
John.
not start campaigns at later levels?
Huh?
I mean, well, it can happen. I actually played a campaign where we hit
20.
We went from yeah.
Yeah, that was our high school campaign, right?
Wait, what?
That was our Joe and Susie campaign, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were
Did
level
get that
20.
high?
Did we start at we didn't start at level 20.
We didn't start at level 20, no.
We started at level 10 maybe though. Or we started at
No,
I
I
don't
was-
even remember. That was third edition.
That was. I was actually talking about this game you weren't in. It was the run by John before this one. We hit 20.
The one I was in for a little bit and then left.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's possible to do. It just,
Yeah.
if you're gonna start low level, then it just takes a while.
Yeah, so start higher level so that you get there faster. It's funner anyways. It's more challenging.
It is, but again, a challenge on your DM to make things interesting. Because when you have the
Yes.
power to
Yeah.
when you have the power to pretty much change the plane that you are existing on, at a whim, enemies. Really, what's a threat to you? And there are some, but.
And not only
it's
that,
hard.
there's an aspect of it that I think a lot of DMs leave out on purpose because it just wouldn't be fun. you would be recognized and idolized by everyone in the world by the time you're like level 15. You know, like just walking into a city, they would throw parades in your honor. People would be, you know, throwing their children in your face and like.
Well, why could you could totally create a scenario where a band of adventurers at a higher level end up somewhere where nobody knows them.
That's true. Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of DMs consider like going off material plane at high levels. You know, like not only are the challenge rating of creatures on different like those different planes higher, you know, in certain areas, but because of that, where you're not going to be recognized, and you can actually do a little role playing involved in like subterfuge and espionage and false identity stuff. Very real question, actually. What does lo-fi mean? I know it's low fidelity, right?
I believe so.
Google.
Someone do the Googles. John, you're not doing anything important, right?
Here's another question.
Yeah.
GIF or GIF?
GIF. Because that's what the word is. That was my son.
I actually don't care.
I don't either.
Doesn't matter.
I don't either. If someone said
I
the other
don't
one, I'd
care.
I'd chortle at it and just move on.
Yeah. One of those things too. It's like, you know, when you argue like this team is better than this team, like I don't care anymore.
You mean
like,
sports?
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
sports
like,
are
that,
different.
or even in college, like these days, like I just whatever. You don't like college I went to? That's fine. I don't care.
That's because you're arguing with Sooners.
Yeah.
You'll never be right,
Yeah.
even though
I
you're
accept
teaching
this.
them.
Sooners have to spend their entire thought process justifying why they ever went to Oklahoma.
Actually, I just read an article that I think Oklahoma was paying digital nomads to move there because they want people and they want them to bring in money.
Well, of course.
And people are actually doing it. Like 'cause,
Digital nomads? What is that?
I mean, people with remote work.
Oh.
So
That's their name now?
that's what many people call them. Yeah. Like,
Digital nomads.
Yep. If you have a remote job, you could actually get some money and breaks by moving to places like Ireland and actually Costa Rica too. So have incentives for you to go there.
Interesting. Calvin, my son and my wife are playing Mario Sunshine on GameCube in the other room.
Nice.
It's a good one. So more questions. Let's see. Let's talk a little bit about Solon. Is there a question that's been plaguing you guys? Chelsea, you said you may have had something, right? Question-wise? That you wanted to ask me on... Didn't you say there was something you were going to ask me?
They were questions about you.
Oh.
And I already asked, I was going to ask how long you painted
Been
minis.
painting. Right.
And I was going to follow up with how long have you, like your history of streaming? Like, have you had your own channel? What channels have you, like, streamed on? How often? When? All that stuff.
That's actually a really funny question because, John, if you remember, we tried to Twitch stream a
did.
D&D campaign a long
Yeah.
fucking time ago. I'm talking like
Yep.
15 years ago? Something ridiculous
did
that I don't
we?
even remember. I remember the channel was called The Prancing Pony Inn because we always laughed at like that was a really good name for an inn. Like if you needed an inn in a town, you just Prancing Pony. I don't.
It was 15 years ago and it was streaming. It had to be like probably the precursor to Twitch. So Justin TV?
No, it was on Twitch. Because I remember when I started up Twitch again, I tried to log in and I logged in on like one of my super old laptops, and it had the login for Prancing Pony D&D. It was on Twitch, but it was so long ago. It was a lifetime ago. I can't even remember, but we we streamed, I want to say 3 sessions maybe, and it was just, I believe it was a screen grab of Roll20 and the audio from like Ventrilo or Discord or something, and it wasn't. I mean, it really wasn't that interesting. But I remember we were cursing on Twitch, and I didn't remember. I don't remember if like that was a problem or I don't remember much about it. But since then, when the pandemic started and I started writing, I was watching a lot of Twitch D&D streams, and that's when I got into Fabled 42. But I also was watching like -2 Charisma, and there were some streams that I still watched that I was watching back then. The role players, they used to be a pretty cool stream that was. They interacted with Fabled 42, I think, quite a bit. And I do have my own channel on Twitch. I've done some mini paint streams, and I did some homebrew. I did used to stream on the Turtle Guild's Twitch channel. The Turtle Guild was this little community of content creators that we'd like work together and we write. So they're like map makers, character artists. I was like the writer. Monster art. We had a little bit of everything. So we made some modules. Some of them are up on Drive-Thru RPG still. One of them has a Foundry module. That's kind of cool. Foundry is another virtual tabletop for RPGs. It's a pretty good one. -2 Charisma, they swear by it. They use it on their streams, and it does look really nice. I've learned Roll20. It'll probably be a while before I'm off Roll20. Who are her
And
friends?
I am just learning how to use Tailspire.
Tailspire's a good one, yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're all really interested. We want to hear how that turns out.
Oh yeah, I'll let you know. I'm building right now.
Here's another look at the mini guys. So I've got the eyes. I've got like the cloth. With the washes, it'll be nice. It'll dirty it up quite a good bit. But I've got these like cloth bandages that are her arm guards, her chest piece, and her belt. Get back in here. I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to do something else. I don't know what yet, though. Skin tone would be easy enough. I could go for the dress. Oh, and no, she's got them down at her ankles. I need to do some of those down at her ankles.
So I have a question.
Sure.
Do you foresee us going in our campaign ever to the northern continent? Or have you kind of planned around the southern?
I am planning on really letting you guys decide. Let's just say that you will have like reasons to go different places. I mean, backstories, forwards, there'll be reasons to go different places, but I'm gonna try to make it where like, the priority of them or the sequence of them is really going to be up to you guys. So it'll be one of those, like, whatever kind of storylines you bite on, those will be the ones we follow.
Okay.
But I was telling Chelsea, like, I have thought not only about, like, the different seasons of the campaign, like you say, like, where you go next, but also, like, different campaigns. If there was ever, like, a time where this time period, how Matt Mercer does it, like this time period, maybe I want to go ahead in time or back in time. I've thought about doing if I was going to do a high level campaign, the high level campaign would be the kind of the Cataclysm version of my world, which would be the Bell's March. It would be the Dark Invasion. And so the group would be involved in storylines and plot lines around the Dark Invasion as it's happening. Whereas this campaign's like, I think I said 120 years beyond the Dark Invasion. And a lot's happened differently. But so that would be the high level campaign. I have other ideas for different directions, you could stay on the continent and go to Capital City. You could go south to there's just a lot. There'll be a lot of options. There'll be reasons to go a lot of different places. You guys will really get to choose which ones you think are the most important. I think that's a good way to do it.
We've spent so much time, like in real life, but not a lot of time in game.
I know.
It's wild.
I know, and it's it's with Stax's game, the Fate of Ukador, that's on his streaming channel, Dungeon Mechanics. It's Monday nights now. Every other Monday night, or like second and fourth Monday of the month. His campaign was the same way. We went like 20 episodes, and it literally was 3 days in the game world, and it's just like. But I feel like that's how these groups that are like focused on streaming and bringing a lot of RP, that's how it goes. These conversations take up 3 hours of stream time, and they take out 3 hours of game time, which is nothing, But I like it. I mean, that's from what I can tell watching a lot of other networks, and even with Fabled 42, like that's why people watch it. Like combat is interesting, especially when people are strategic and doing interesting things in combat. But I think people stick around for the streams to hear the stories and the acting and like the investment into the storytelling.
I mean, on a little everything, right? And we're still like creating everything, and we don't even have everyone.
You don't even have anyone, and I mean, you guys have. I know you have a lot of notes. You've met a lot of people, and you've uncovered a lot of information. You haven't even talked to several of the houses of Gorespire. Like there's full houses. Actually, it's pretty much one. You've interacted with almost everyone now, but except for the Misfits.
I'm gonna pull out my notes now. I feel like he's also now giving us hints, John, on where we should go next.
I mean, one of the things was always to go there, but
yeah.
I gave significant end-game hints that you guys didn't really bite on.
Like what?
I mean, you know where they are, right?
Misfits? I mean, I think so.
I mean, I feel like Lord Havish. Lord Havish really threw us out like 5 different directions to go. And then like in game, I feel like then there's like the stuff that Lord Havish didn't want us to know about. So then like that's the stuff we're definitely more interested in, like what he omitted. And you have this huge thread of the affliction through all of it, which is definitely like at the heart. But now I'm like pulling out all my notes. Yeah, we've met the Night Watch. We haven't actually met Zarok.
No, that's right. But you've met his second hand.
Yes.
We have not yet met Baraka.
Yes, you have.
I mean, yes, but haven't we talked to
not like one-on-one.
Right.
But you met Baraka during the trials.
The event.
She was the big bird lady that came down from her.
Yeah. But yeah, we haven't talked to her. I guess that's
the only reason why you don't feel like you talked to her, because you weren't Shay when you met her. You were Lord Havish.
Well, also there wasn't a ton of talking to her, really. She was just administering the event.
Right.
Like.
Well, yeah, and you probably could have had a chance afterwards to talk to her if you wanted to, but then she was tending to the injured acolytes that were part of her grouping because someone decided to lash out at them. She's not here. She can't defend herself.
She didn't know who was the bad guy.
Yeah.
Who was it?
That's fair.
It was interesting that Lord Havish, when we sat down to dinner with him, he never asked Shay or mentioned or even touched on the topic that she impersonated him to win. Like he had to have known. He just like glossed right over that. So funny. John, what are you doing right now?
I am literally typing out an email. So nothing fun.
You can do
I
that
wish I
type
could do
of
something.
multitasking? Wow.
I mean, I do lots of things when I have to, watch kids. So, let's see. But no, yeah, that and because I did have COVID and was out, I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things. Because yeah.
That's a bummer, man. Glad you're on the mend.
Glad
I haven't gotten it again. Like, I haven't gotten any of the newer strains. I've had the original, the OG COVID. I'm pretty sure they didn't have any tests back then, so I'm that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But who
I
knows?
just find it ironic that through like the main thrust of the pandemic, I didn't catch it, but now I did because the world.
I almost don't want to say anything and jinx myself, so I'm just gonna.
You shouldn't. Yeah, you
Yeah.
should not.
All right, what color should I do next? I just don't even know. Usually things just come
Hard
to me.
to tell you.
I could do the blade. That'll take up some time, and I'll just get it done. Let's do that. Blade steel. Why are my colors fading? Am I having a stroke?
So is the intention to sell minis without color so that people can customize them?
Yeah, I mean, he does even have he has painted a little pocket, what do they call it, like cluster pack or popcorn pack of 6 minis that are painted out of a factory. So he has gotten into the selling of painted miniatures. But yeah, a big part of the hobby is the painting. So like, yes, people would buy painted miniatures, but that market isn't near as big as the people that want to paint the miniatures.
How much terrain and stuff do you have?
I have a set of Dwarven Forge terrain that is not even put together. It's like in boxes on the sprues still. Like you got to glue them together and put them together. And it's still like, I think it's like a Dwarven set. So there's some cool. Eventually, once I get a bigger place, maybe I might build them and paint them up. But I have not dabbled in terrain yet.
How is your Warhammer stuff going?
Yeah,
Have you
I
done
haven't
any of
touched
yet?
that. No, I have several Warhammer. I've Age of Sigmar is the Warhammer fantasy game or setting. So I have it's like the underwater folk. They're like a merfolk army. And I have the learn to paint or the start kit. But the Warhammer one, there's more in the putting together too. They come disassembled, so you have to assemble them and glue them and then paint them. And also, like, people do a lot of the basing. I've never done basing. Basing is like here at the bottom. You know, some of them come textured, so you can just, like, if you wanted to, this looks like cobbled stone, so I could just take silver or just leave it like that. But a lot of people will do like get little tufts of grass and bushes and skulls and all sorts of stuff. Hey, luck to me! Woohoo! Hey, I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna be doing the pupils on this one soon, and the eyes are always the hardest, so I'm gonna use that luck.
So I want to go back because, again, I'm not familiar with any of this. So it's dedicated time and attention and resources to making the minis, but you don't even have the terrain to use the minis on. It's just to, like, have them? Like, because they're, like, cool and you just want to, like,
Which one?
have
The
them?
D&D ones or the Warhammer ones?
In general.
In general? Well, yeah, eventually I'll have a home game again, probably, or like, you know,
Okay.
an in-person game, and then
Okay.
I've got the big hex map that I can.
Okay.
Yeah, but now, honestly, now that I've done all the digital stuff, and like I have gotten really good with Incarnate, so most likely what I would do now is I would make an Incarnate map and print it out on papers, even if it took like 9, 12 papers or whatever to make like a big grid.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'd do, because I can make pretty good Incarnate maps, and then people I think would like that. But then you never know where the technology will be when that happens, and I'm not beyond considering, using an
3D
old
printer?
like big screen TV and making a table where the map is a TV and it have like animated maps on there.
So cool.
Ooh, yeah, I mean that's the dream, right?
Yeah, that would. Well, I will use you guys as my guinea pigs in Tailspire. If you
Definitely,
want.
I'd like that. I've played a few things in Tailspire. Stax did a few of the things for our game in there, and it's very visually impressive. Like it is. It's when everything's moving and the sounds are going and everything. It's really cool.
Is Tailspire one of those where like all the person running and players have to actually own Tailspire though, like the
No.
program?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to move your own minis around the map, like in Roll20, you would have to
Oh,
have.
really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it's a one-time purchase of $25.
Oh, that's not bad at
Yeah.
all.
No.
Yeah.
And they're still updating it, and it's still like in the
Yeah.
early access or whatever. And then, but like a lot of people, somebody else can just move everyone. Like the DM would just move
Right.
Yeah.
all the minis around and stuff like that.
But I guess Tailspire can actually like have a full blown like D&D sheet for your character in the system. I guess.
It does, I think. I think it's getting there. If it doesn't, it's gonna get there.
Yeah, they're still working on things like area of effects and I'm not savvy to it. Like I literally just started dabbling in it this week as somebody who's like building and playing with it.
Someone was saying in chat that you have to have like it's not optimized, so like you need a pretty decent computer to run.
Yep.
Everything.
Yeah.
But all of the VTTs are like that. Even the best ones can really lag out certain times. Foundry, that's one of the problems with Foundry is you need a server to run it. Basically, like you can run it on your own computer, but then it's really slow. Or you can rent you can pay money to use one of their servers to do it, but that's money.
Yeah.
I'm debating right now, like, so I'm building my first little house in Tailspire, and I'm debating on what I want to build a map. I want to build a battle map for like a little one shot. Easiest thing would be to like take something from one of the adventure modules and just take the map, do it. And a lot of people already have. So. Few Fabled members that can do Tailspire and Zoom at the same time. Yes. I do remember we like encountered some issues when we ran both of it streaming. So I would definitely like before I used it with a stream, I would definitely see if that would even be capable. Otherwise, just for home games that are still virtual, could be a lot of fun.
I can't tell if my kid is crying because he hurt himself or if he died after trying really hard to get something on Super Mario Sunshine. John, so I said we would talk about this, and it seems like a good time. In your game, you were running, and I still don't know that. I know you've told me the name of the module. What module did we run?
I mean, I forget the name of it now.
You forgot that it's out of Yawning Portal, right?
It is out of Yawning Portal, yes.
But it's one of the Yawning Portal.
Yeah, it was a Sunless Citadel.
Sunless Citadel.
Yep.
And he thought our group was experienced enough that just running the plain old module, which is probably true, wouldn't be enough for us. So he added this mechanism of these crystals. They were like embedded in their skin.
Yeah.
And if you did, basically, if you took them down to 0 HP, they would go into this, dark rage and do a lot of damage, And what else?
Increased damage.
Yeah,
Yes.
double damage.
Yes.
And then you had to remove the crystal or destroy the crystal in their body to actually get them down to the ground. So you had to kill them twice, but, the problem is we didn't ever single target anything down. So we would have 3 or 4 of them that went into this blind rage at the same time. And we were just we're screwed. And I mean, I know I fell several times.
Well, that too, and it kind of gave purpose to actual skills too, because it wasn't well, yes, you've beaten them, that's good. Now you have to actually you were useful in it because you actually had skills to pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I as that rogue, so I'm playing a halfling rogue. I definitely have tried to be clever and I don't do traditional roguish things in combat. There was one fight, there was dogs so they could smell me, So I went invisible, and I didn't attack them. I just stood in, like, blocking this corridor. And so they were attacking me because they could smell me, but they were at disadvantage. Right? Were they at disadvantage? They were at disadvantage.
Disadvantage, yeah.
And I just sat there like a blink tank, just letting them try to hit me and basically kept them out of the fight. That was pretty effective.
Well,
But
that's
then-
the thing, too. Like, if you have a neat idea, I'll let it play out. And so, it worked. So, yeah.
That was a good idea.
That is the fun stuff. Coming up with things that aren't so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, it's great to have fireball when you need fireball, but I like the problem solving and the thinking outside the box, and that's why. Go ahead.
Well, that's why I always like the utility of, like, the utility of Wizard rather than, like, destructiveness. Because, like, they have a lot of neat spells, like, you know, Spider Climb and a bunch of other stuff that, like, just... They can do a lot of crafty things.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I have yet to play Wizard because I didn't want to be that squishy yet. And so I picked the Bard because I think I read somewhere that they have the biggest spell list. More than Wizards.
More than Wizards? Well,
I think so. I'm gonna Google it, but it may not be the best. Like, it may not be as interesting of a selection. But I thought, ooh, that'll give me lots of choices. Who has?
all right, guys, I'm doing the pupils. Wish me luck.
I mean, if you do it wrong, though, can't you just reset it?
Yeah, but I have to do the white and then the black. And then eventually, if you could do it wrong too many times in a row, it's all caked up on there, and you have to strip them. I don't feel like stripping them. That's pretty good. That'll work. So I'll show you guys. It's not perfect, but it's good enough that I can use the skin tone now to fill in the white that shouldn't be there, and I'll be able to shape the eyes with it, and it'll end up just being a little bit of white on the sides of a black pupil.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing this like light purple pink skin tone here.
What's this safari map underneath?
It's just something. It used to be like a eating map for our kid that has turned into my mini painting. Yeah. Capybara, peccary, tapir, leafcutter ant, poison dart frog. Heck yeah. The other side has like all the animals, but it's black and white. It's not as interesting. All right, another question. Let's see. Beep-a-doop-a-doo. We'll do this question, and then we'll probably take a little break so people can refresh drinks, and then we'll come back. We're going to stream for about 2 hours tonight. We're about an hour in. We're not going to go too long. Ba-dee-ba-dee-ba-doo. Another question. So, how about this? Is there anything... What of the game and story so far is something that you've, like, taken note of that you want to come back to later? Like, something that you're like, we need to circle back around to this.
In Heroes?
Uh-huh.
John, go first.
I mean, I feel the big obvious one is either the... do we need to kill Lord Havish?
Well, that's
Yeah.
like...
Is
Yeah.
he a bad dude?
Right. Like, is that the ultimate right now? Like, do we have to take down the king?
Or like, I mean, he seems fine at points, but it's like, but no, really, like, it's my town, and I actually have a dragon behind me, so just do what I say, right? Like, you know.
Okay, so you're thinking the secret weapon is a dragon.
I think so, because because he was referencing, like, you know, I have that. Well, yeah, because isn't that where
It's been referenced, yeah.
Yeah, that's where Ashley's character was supposed to be sent off to, right?
To act as a
So,
liaison, yep. So that, yeah, there's an established relationship between the
When
dragons.
did I miss the thread about a dragon, though?
I mean, it was there.
It was there. It was
just-
talked
It
about.
was there? I
Yeah.
just wrote secret weapon. I have secret weapon. Clearly,
Yeah,
I
'cause
missed
he
the
even says
undertone
the
there.
name. It was.
Nisara.
Yeah.
It's a name I
yeah.
always. It's either Nisara or Narissa or
Right.
Narcy. You know.
I wrote that down too. I didn't know she was a dragon.
Yeah.
Surprise.
That's definitely a big surprise. Now
I mean,
I'm
because
feeling-
again, this dude could just be like, he could be fine, but like, is he gonna be like, no, I'm gonna.
But I meant
hold
more
the
like.
town hostage with a dragon.
I appreciate the answer, and I agree that of all, like, yes, that is going to be a. I mean, like, that's central theme. But I meant more something subtle or something just like, that's interesting, but it didn't like get a lot of attention.
Mine was like, that's how much I missed it. I was gonna answer with like, "What's this secret weapon?"
Why is everyone so afraid of him?
What could it be?
What could it be?
Like, I didn't even think that he would have like harnessed an allegiance. Sorry, dogs. I got so many
Okay.
hellhounds in this house.
I'm glad you're comfortable enough with us now to call us your dogs. Oh, wait.
I guess then, if you want the more subtle thing, I would kind of want to like see what the deal with Raishal really is, because that's his name of the son, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, like, is he just kind of like a bratty, entitled like kid of this guy, or does he actually have any kind of depth or story to him? Like,
Is
you know,
he a bro?
reading what? Yeah.
Or is he like a protagonist?
Yeah.
That's a
So-
good point to come around to, yeah.
I really want to, and this is more for like personal stuff, but I really want to know about.
I want to know what
Or
love
the
is.
underground?
Well, there you go. So that was
Underground?
that's a ding 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 answer from a previous question.
That's
Do you remember?
the one that
No.
you asked me?
Yes. Yes.
Wait,
I don't
No.
know this question.
The house that you haven't.
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, the Misfits.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
What
Well, then there. Yeah.
and just the map that what's her face was sent off to go
Lissa?
explore.
Oh, you mean the like the yeah I know what you mean now. You mean like the what is Havish interested in the tunnels and ruins below?
Like
those
that.
hierarchies?
Well, there's that side, and then and then what's going on inside the city, and
Okay. So yeah, that's cool. I like that.
I think also just again exploring some more of our backstories when we get to the points too. Like if we ever go into like, I assume we ever went into that forest city. I think is that what it was?
Torch pool. Yep.
Yeah. So if we end up there, maybe like Chelsea's character would, there'll be some stuff in there that she'll just like, know about, and like we'll find out more. So.
how about this enchanted forest with the Fey-like creatures?
Yep. Lots
Right.
of mystery around that one.
Definitely want to go in there and get wrapped up in some trouble. Definitely. I really want some I want some loot.
Yeah.
I need some treasure.
Well, luckily, you guys are in combat, right? There's always loot in combat.
We're almost there. We're like right outside the. Well, no, we are there, but he told us to pull back.
He did tell you to pull back. What do y'all think about that?
I already said
I
what I
mean-
thought about at the end of the last game.
I also don't think we're gonna stop Calliope from like bashing stuff in, so I feel we're a little committed.
Tune in next week
Yeah.
for that one. Yeah, I'm excited about that. He knows. He knows.
Did you
he
build
knows.
that map yourself?
The cave? Yes,
Okay.
I did. And
Was the
did
dynamic lighting work actually really worth it? I don't. I probably. I feel personally probably not, but I don't know. I don't have time to touch
I've
to do
used
that.
it. I've used it in the game that I'm doing with my college guy friends. I do like it in certain situations. This cave, but it wasn't a lot of work. It took me maybe 2 minutes to set it up for the cave. Bigger maps where for that Amiria game, he gives you these big maps that have lots of different rooms and locations on it. And so for that, I do really like it because, basically I just let the people go, and once they see something that interests them in one of the rooms, that's just, that's where they go. So I do like it. I do kind of, there's a lot of home rules with it because you have to still make it fun and interesting for the players. So like if you have a player without dark vision, it would suck to not to see anything. But I tried to make it, you should have seen everyone's character. I tried to make it, basically each person's character emits like 5 or like 2 feet of light. So I tried to make it where even if she couldn't see what's in front of her, she could see on the map where some of the other players were. Did that work for
I
you,
don't
Chelsea?
think that.
I can't remember, to be honest.
I mean, from where I was, that was not the case because I didn't see envy for.
But you
a
have
bit of
you
time.
have the most dark vision, so you
I
can
know.
see everything that other people. Oh, but you didn't see it. No, Envy was
didn't
different though because I extended that map right before we started playing, and I'd already created the barrier for the dynamic lighting. So if you remember, like all I had to do was move your piece like one little thing over, and the vision switched from like outside the cave to inside the cave.
Right.
So that was different. That's why you couldn't see him there.
I can't remember when they ran up ahead if I couldn't see them at all. Because in my mind, in my memory, I had my window open and then I had the Twitch window open. So I was trying not to like,
Mm-hmm.
what does my character see versus what do I see?
Right. It's hard. Yeah, it is hard.
And then I do anticipate I'm a little nervous about future combat with the fact that like half our party has like double the movement. Like Lupin and Calliope are able to like rush into the combat while like me and Stax's character are just like trying to catch up. Couldn't do anything for like 2 turns.
There's spells for that.
There are spells for that, but to be able to rely on spells for just to get to, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's you have to get creative with it, but it's not.
I guess the question too is like, do you want like because I think kind of the job of me and Flappy is to be that front line, like.
Totally.
That's true. And John really, I can tell John has put a lot of focus of his character in being mobile. Like that's what he wants to be. He wants to be that mobile fighter.
I just want to participate. I want to be up there too. I want to fight. I want to smash things, even if it's not quite smashy smash like you guys are. It was like,
I guess that's the question too. Like, do bards have a lot of? I mean, like destruction kind of spells, like.
Yeah, you can pick them.
Yeah, that was probably not the most accurate word. I don't, if I really wanted to just smash things, I would have picked a melee character. No, I really.
Like, I'm assuming there are ranged or even melee like spells that you can cast as a bard to like destroy things.
Inflict. You can do like lightning grasp and. Yeah,
there's definitely fun stuff, but I have built him, to definitely be like
how on
support.
Character of you.
And thematic and not necessarily like the most damage dealing, but things that are very just
No, it's good to have those
fun.
Those spells. Like I remember the very first campaign we ever played. Our friend Greg was a wizard, and back in 3.0 or 3.5, whatever we were playing, I think it was 3.5 at that point.
Yeah, probably.
He was an illusionist wizard in 3.5, and so he didn't have the huge damage spells that like a what is it, evoker, because they used to be. That's how wizards used to be split up. Was their class of, they had specialists. They'd specialize in a class of magic, and so he was an illusionist, which was cool. Like I did enjoy it, but like, you know, he wasn't so flashy on being big damage. But man, his illusions were the things that really changed the battle. Like he would put illusions up that would let us escape, or, you know, distract one of the big enemies, and it was very useful. It was very cool. I enjoyed watching him play that character. What were you, John, in that game? You were the cleric, weren't you?
First game?
Yeah,
No,
you were the cleric.
Fighter.
You were a fighter?
Very first one, yeah.
Who was the cleric? God. It's okay if you don't remember, because that game, Chelsea, we started that game senior year of high school?
Yeah, I think. Maybe junior year.
With 6 or 7 of us.
Yeah.
And there was a...
Susie was a rogue. It
Mhm.
was Joe's sister that was cleric.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. That's what it was. No, I was a fighter.
There was a session at the end of this campaign where there were 12 of us around this pool table playing D&D. We had brought in like 5 friends from high school to play D&D in this group with us. Do you remember that, John?
I do. I thought that was more of a one-shot event, though. But yes.
Yeah. That was pretty crazy. And then was my first character was the monk, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it was the monk.
Monk.
I've always had a thing. Monk is definitely my secret, or like my what do they call it? Not dirty secret, but you know, those songs that you are ashamed of, but they're your jam. You know what I'm talking about?
Guilty pleasure.
Oh,
Guilty pleasure, yeah.
pleasure. Yeah.
Because monks were not great in 3.0, but they got a little buff in 3.5, and so I wanted to play it. And remember, Joe really helped me out by giving me what, John?
What, bracers, probably?
Nope.
Defense?
Nope.
I don't remember them.
You don't. You remember?
I mean...
Cloak of Displacement.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, he said I needed it. If he was going to let me play monk, he said I had to have that item because their AC was so low. Yeah.
They're fun.
They got buffed, though, in 5th, right?
They did get buffed in 5th. They were good in 3.5, but yours is buffed. Yours is crazy. I should have paid attention to when you picked it. I'm not saying I wouldn't have given it to you, but it's pretty strong. Yeah. Pretty strong.
I used Cloak of Displacement in the last campaign that I played on Fabled 42, and
As Krista?
yeah, made it really fun.
What was that character?
She was a fairy ranger, and so I could fly. And I was like, if I can fly, I want to be a ranged fighter. So I chose the ranger option. And then, she could go invisible. And what did I have? I got a really good bow at one point. I was about to dip into a level of rogue when it got canceled. I rarely got hit. I was always so far away. And then I chose the sharpshooter feat. And
Yep.
I really, really missed playing her, actually. She was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
That was a very fun campaign. I liked watching that one. I liked Eric Bra. He's a lot of fun.
Eric was in there for a little bit. At the beginning and then at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really miss Krista. I had a lot of fun. And I even if the campaign's canceled, I will play her again one day. I've already decided.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yep.
And it was like his own homebrew race. So now that they actually have like the fairy
Yep.
Yeah, the
character
fairy book.
officially,
Yeah.
I can like play around with like an alternate version of her. And now that I've played her and I see her like weaknesses, which is fine, but it was really cool too because everybody, you know, hoops, or not everybody, but on the ranger class, but I chose the monster slayer, so I had also this feature where as an action I would immediately know the vulnerabilities and resistances and anything that my foe was like privy to. It was just like an automatic feature, and I could like,
Even if it, like any creature, not even like, cause I thought you'd like have be your favorite creature or whatever. Like,
so you could, in this one we made it so, let me go back to, now that I'm here, like I'm gonna open it up.
Open it up. All right, guys. This first layer of purple for the skin is down. I think that looks pretty. Man, she's ripped. Look at those abs.
She is. That's the first thing I think about every time I see this. Is the abs.
She's ripped.
They're wild.
That's wild. Do we need a break? I forgot. I said we were gonna
No,
do a break.
it's just any one creature. It was
Any
my
one
hunter
creature.
sense.
Hunter sense, yeah.
Sorry,
I
dog.
had a high level ranger beast, not beastmaster. What's it called again? Is it beastmaster? No. What'd you say it was called?
Monster Slayer.
Monster Slayer. I had a Monster Slayer, yeah, with like Colossal Slayer. I think that was what it's called. One of the features that lets you like do like as long as they aren't max HP, you do an extra D8 was one of them.
Yeah.
Colossal. It was Colossal, I thought.
I think
See,
you're thinking of another. There's one that's for like fighting bigger foe. There's a ranger class that's like.
It's not a class. It's just one of the options. Like
okay.
that type of ranger you choose. Yeah, you choose like two features or something.
Okay.
Like a fighting style or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
So it's one I
it's-
didn't pick, and that's why I don't know it. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. He didn't get enough. Nearly enough.
It's okay. You'll get to play something like it again, and you like just pick it up from the.
Well, and that's why, like, it's so funny because I know that tonight we didn't have enough. But I was like, can we play a one shot? Please? Nothing? Anything? Because I just want to play constantly. I want to play every single class, and that's just not possible.
It's very difficult.
Very difficult.
Because I would imagine too, though, like it always sounds like a good idea, but I would imagine that like if you were playing 3 or 4 characters at once, for me, it wouldn't. The excitement of getting to play different characters would be outweighed by the nervousness of like remembering how to play one of the characters. You know, like, does that make sense?
Yes. Well, if you were like committed to that character and it wasn't
Yeah.
just a fun little.
One shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's
You
why
just-
I get
yeah.
nervous every time before our game because I'm like, I'm still not proficient in Bard. Like, I haven't been in enough combat encounters with what I've created yet. Like, what do I do here? You know?
Yeah.
I'm constantly.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like, yeah, it's the streaming schedule, and it's weird because technically, I would imagine like streaming games are the most consistent games I've ever played. Like, if not streaming, you have less of a commitment to like everyone to actually keep the schedule. So a lot of games I play, they get pushed out a lot further. And man, DMing like a game where you haven't played in a month, that's like the extreme. But that's even harder. Like trying to remember everything, but also just being interested in your character again after being away.
I actually have like, an issue that I keep encountering when I go to create a new character is because I am still I'm not that person who, even though I like, I really have, since I've like started playing, I'm really into it, and it takes up a lot of my time and energy and like interest. I'm always like reading up on it. I can't just sit there and read through the player handbook and the classes like and remember everything. I can't retain it. Like I'm still so not knowledgeable in other stuff. So when I created the bard, I made the same mistake that I did before, which is not realizing that I can swap out spells because it's just something I didn't know. And,
well, every class is different too on how they swap out spells.
And I didn't know that. So like when
okay.
I created my first ever character, it was a paladin, and you could swap out your spells like really easily. So I thought, oh, when it comes to spells, you can swap out spells when you need them, like after a short rest or a long rest, not when you level up.
Yeah.
So it's just like this thing that's like messed me up. So I did it again with the bard, and I chose all my spells thinking, oh, I'm gonna go into this fight, this tournament where we have to like, you gave us like a little idea of what we had to do, that we were gonna like immediately go into this on the first stream, and so I catered all my spells for the first game, and now I'm stuck with them.
Well, remember, if there's really like, because you're not level 1, but for the characters you're level 1. If there's something you want to switch out because you didn't know that, let me know and we can talk about it.
I did think about it. I thought about it, and luckily I still gave myself like a pretty nice selection, but still, I want to kick myself in the foot. And it's like, I've read the material, but like there's things like that I just like, I go into it thinking I already know how it works, and I'm like still learning so much. Like, oh, okay, that's not.
But and I think it's an extra challenge. The first level, because you didn't start the character from first level, I feel like picking spells you want to really be starting from first level, because you pick the spells like as you go to second, third level, fourth, you're picking spells based on what you've done previously and what's worked and what your kind of like character preferences. Coming in at fifth level,
like having an idea of what the game master is giving you, what the other players are using, and
right, yeah. So I mean, that probably adds a bit of that challenge to it, where you come in and like you make your character fifth level, but without really developing it, and then you do your first couple of combats or situational things. You're like, that's not what I imagined, but it's what I want. I want my character to be able to do this. I just didn't know I wanted them to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really, like for Stack's campaign, we started at level 5, and I was an artificer.
Okay.
Was it 5 or 3? No. Gosh, I don't even remember now. Either way, definitely when I was picking spells, I imagined the like playing out combats and stuff differently than once I started playing. Like, it was just like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
But that's fun.
Thoughts on that, John? On you finding out that I'm that much of an amateur? Being honest with you guys.
Fooled me. So. That's the thing too. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, at least the way we are doing it, I feel, again, it's, I mean, it is a lot more role-playing focused and less like, again, this is our really first true fight, so haven't seen any of that.
Luckily I still had some stuff. Like, I've got a few things up here, because I do have kind of like half is more role-playing type spells, and then the other half for like combat support.
Mm-hmm.
Or things that like I can control, kind of stuff. Since I can't really do damage, I'm like, well, I can help control, and everybody else can do damage.
Well, that's the thing too. I think Ashley's character is really like the main source of damage for our party because, I mean, I can do damage, but that's not my main job. um,
What's
I
your
mean,
main job? Protection.
I feel yeah,
Yeah.
it's most of my things have been geared that way. So
That's
Well,
cool.
maybe that's a problem that we just haven't even realized yet. That no one in the party considers themselves the main damage dealer.
I think you're right though. Like I'm not sure. I'm not here to speak for Ashley, and she's not here. But that totally, I think she would love to be the damage.
If she knew that we were saying that she was going to be the badass damage dealer,
Yeah.
she'd be
She
so
will
happy.
gladly take the reins on that role. But Cherie, I mean, you've got her that homebrew cool situation.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to blow the lid on that so soon, huh?
No, I didn't. And John did ask the question, like, how come his D100 roll was different? And it
Yeah.
is. It is. It's just different. That's the answer.
it's fun.
But
I feel like hers has kind of a big negative though, because if you only get 3 turns of that, like if in a long fight,
Mhm.
that's gonna eat up your rages like super quick.
You look at his little smile. Yep.
it's a give and take. It's
Right.
this. So for those that don't know, the name I've given to this subclass is Path of the Avatar, and it's got that. It's definitely got that bit of sacrifice component to it. You sacrifice a little bit of the normal barbarian mechanic, but there's definitely some benefits. And I don't know if y'all heard the whole thing as we read it out, but the benefits are pretty cool, I think. So I of course balance, right? But it's interesting. This would be the first time that I feel like I'm not saying, screw you for saying it, but like a lot of times you feel that your homebrew stuff is overpowered, and a lot of times homebrew is overpowered, right? Because you want it to be interesting,
Right.
you want it to be cool, you want people to
Right.
want to play it, so you tend to make overpowered homebrew. But it feels good to hear someone say that's a big, balance. That's a big ask to give up the length of your rage just for a little bit extra.
Well,
That's
that
exactly
it seems
what I
like
wanted.
too. Like, will she be able to control that at some point, where
Yeah.
she can choose,
The
like,
choice
to,
thing?
yeah, or
Yes.
just big surprise, like.
Technically,
Uh-oh.
I think she was supposed to be able to do it this whole time, but for some reason it didn't get on her character sheet.
I love
She
it.
knew
Just
about it.
situationally evolved into
Uh-huh.
this, like, oh, well, that's how I planned it.
She knew about it though, because I sent it to her. She read it. It's it's the third level. I think third level feature, and so she definitely read it and saw it. But I don't think because it wasn't on, maybe it was because it wasn't on her character sheet. Maybe she didn't know if she could use it yet.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's what happened, because when I said it, she was happy. She definitely knew about it.
Yeah.
She just So.
How funny.
Yeah, I think Cherie's got some damage to put out. I think she'd consider herself one of the major damage dealers.
Perhaps barbarian.
Yeah, but again, then her class also has a weird like healing thing too, like.
Just a little.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting like paladin-like vibes from the way she's playing it too. Like she's being very pious, and then she's like, I want to rage, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's not a paladin.
Yeah.
She's a barbarian.
Well, really, her mentality towards her character was a main influence for the subclass, because I hadn't, she wanted to do something new. I told you guys that I wouldn't mind writing out a new subclass or something if you have an idea in mind. And definitely the idea I think she gave me was not as evolved as the one that it is now, but it was she had an idea more about how she wanted to play her character than she did the subclass. And so she told me about her character. I said, here's a cool subclass idea I have, and she was all for it. So that's really how that evolved.
I will
Wanna
be
see?
right back.
So,
Right back. Bathroom break. Right
Okay.
back.
Here's the little tiefling. So the eyes are better. You can see. I keep the eyes bigger than the model has space for because I like the anime style eyes. Let me get back under the light. So you can see her eye there, and then the other one, maybe. Can you see it? It's hard to see with this light. But anyway, the skin's going down. That white is a really strong contrast color there. I like it. It's looking good. Just getting started. Hey, buddy. What, you got some strawberries?
How are you doing?
I am online. I'm streaming, but I'm painting and I'm talking to some people. I can't eat any strawberries right now. Those are all for you? Or are you sharing with mommy?
No, you can't have strawberries.
Oh, I need this. Thanks.
I used to have
Yeah, I know. It used to be yours.
that.
Oh, careful. Someone in chat wants strawberries. But you can't give it to him. Not yet. The technology maybe one day will let me send you strawberries through the internet. What a day we could live in, guys. Wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, she has fangs, doesn't she? She does have fangs. Tieflings have fangs? Does the tiefling in the movie have fangs? The one that everyone's so upset about because she's white?
People upset about that?
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. People are so
Like-
upset about it. Well, and the fact that she turned into an owlbear.
Why is that bad?
Because an owlbear is not a beast. And druids can only wild shape into beasts. Which I actually, in one of my campaigns, there's situational things. I had a druid that worshipped Maliki. And so, in one very critical part of her storyline, she got imbued with Maliki's power and was able to transform into a unicorn, which, if you know, unicorns in D&D are super powerful. I think they can just cast Wish.
I don't believe that.
Look it up.
Ooh, what can cast wish?
I think a unicorn.
Hmm. Okay. Alright, I'm catching up on the chat. Risky clicker.
Did you see my son?
I
Bruh,
did
I
it. I
mean,
was.
it's not- but yeah.
Darn it.
He had strawberries.
Cute. Hello, little Colin.
Hey, he's back.
Oh, he is back.
He's back.
Do you have more strawberries?
I'm just eating one.
You're just eating one right now?
Are
What
those
happened
freckles they see?
Not really.
I think it's
They're
just the
little bumps.
lighting. The lighting's giving him like the really like tan little.
Oh, you can
No.
see him in Zoom. They can't see him on stream. He
Oh,
tried to wave.
He's really cute. For those that can't see him. Bye.
He's
He
gone.
waved. Bye.
He gone. Man, it
He'll
is
be back.
hot. I really am looking forward to it finally cooling off tonight. Sorry,
They
John.
cannot cast Wish. At will, they can do Detect Good and Evil, Druid Craft, Pass Without Trace. Once a day, calm emotions, Dispel Good Evil, Entangle. Weapons are magical. So no, not
Okay, not Wish.
So cute.
What are you doing, bud?
Distracted by the child. He's so cute. Ask him what his
Wait.
favorite animal is.
What's your favorite animal? You gotta have a favorite animal.
mean, there's so many animals.
Mine's gorilla.
Creatures.
Creatures, like monsters.
Creature.
No, creatures are stuff we don't know.
Oh, the unknown creatures,
Hmm.
like monsters of the deep sea. Yeah,
Somebody's got a big imagination.
he does.
And
You know
like
how he got 'em?
jellyfishes-
How he got it?
Like jellyfish ghosts.
The jellyfish ghosts. Yeah, if you get your kids playing D&D at a young age with my Family Fantasy RPG 5e
Yeah.
kids games, that's what you get. Now, forewarning, sometimes his imagination is so good. He DM'd a game for us, and none of our spells worked, our swords didn't work, nothing worked, and it was a very difficult game for us.
So did your unicorn actually have legendary actions to use?
No. Not in that instance. But we were talking, Chelsea. I don't know if you've kept up with all the flack that they gave when the D&D trailer came out. Were
Yeah.
you paying attention to all that? How the
I mean-
tiefling was white.
How
And,
Witch
like-
Flame was white?
The tiefling
Tiefling.
character was like an Irish redhead girl.
Oh. I did not hear the flack on that particular.
Yeah,
I
they
mean-
wanted the
Daddy?
purple and red skin, you know.
Why is that there?
Why is what there? The plate?
So the paper towel and the plate.
It's called a palette for me to put the paints on, so I can get them exactly how I want them before I try to bring them onto the miniature.
I don't think things like that with as huge of a fan base, and then you've got Hollywood creating a movie.
Oh, what are
there's
you
just-
standing on my headset?
There's gonna be so many people unhappy and
Yeah.
dissatisfied and picking it apart and.
I honestly
some-
think that trailer looked amazing. Like I'm excited to see the
Yeah,
movie.
no, I thought it was great. Like, also too, like I understand certain controversy. Like if you have a white character playing an Asian person, that could have done it. That's a thing. But like
yes.
these are fictional like races. Why can't you not have a paler skinned tiefling? Because why not? I don't know.
Because where'd the demon blood go, huh? Depends on who you ask.
I mean, I saw the trailer, and I guess I was like, oh, I'm excited. This is gonna be like. There's like part excitement just because it's gonna be a fun ride, and then like, of course, there's choices made, and I'm like, I don't know if I like that actor. I don't know if I like this casting. I don't know, but it's
Michelle
I'm not-
Rodriguez? Come on.
Chris
emotionally
Pine?
caught up in
Chris
it in a bad
Pine? Come on.
And then what's his face? Rogue, like English guy. I'm blinking on his name. Chat. His name.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. He's a really good actor. Not Colin Firth. I can Google
I
it.
actually don't know this person.
Yeah, I don't know.
You do.
But-
He's been in every. He's.
I mean,
I'm gonna be done here in about 20 minutes. What are you guys doing?
Using books.
Reading books?
I'm just waiting for mommy.
Okay.
But it'll be fun, It'll be fun to have them put something up on. I think casting-wise, I'm most excited to see Roger Jean Paul as the paladin. Bridgerton fan here, so I was like, okay. That's
They
nice.
said there's gonna be a cameo from a D&D live streamer. I don't know who it is, but that is a confirmed rumor that like some community celebrity is gonna be in the movie.
Justice Smith.
Like Will
So I'm reading
Smith?
the list.
Oh.
I don't know, but so Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, Ray John Page, Justice Smith, Sophia Lewis, and then Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant, the one I was.
Hugh Grant. Okay. He's the rogue?
He's the rogue.
That's pretty funny.
He's like an
Really?
older rogue. And of course, comments were like, "Oh, he's gonna be the villain for sure." Blah blah blah.
I hope. Do you think his parents will have been murdered? Yeah. Well, I mean, one of them is supposed to be for the greenery, and the other one's supposed to be for the strawberries.
Huh. Yeah, it is Hugh Grant, and he's older.
Chris Pine looks a lot older too. I mean, hey, we're all aging. I'm not harping on anybody, but it was also an interesting cast too. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how.
I don't know,
How
bud.
many of you still watch movies in the theater when you want to go see something and it comes out and you're like, I have to see this in the theater?
I haven't seen a movie in the theater in a long time.
I actually have. I saw. What did I see?
What did I see? What was the last movie I saw?
Thor?
I know mine
I
easily.
saw Thor.
The new one, The Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Cool. The last movie I saw in the theater was easily Paw Patrol.
Which wasn't for you. That was
No,
for.
that's for Calvin, and it was a pretty cool experience because obviously it was all kids, so like they could be loud and
Yeah.
yeah, it was all right.
I'm trying to think what the last movie I saw was. It's been a minute.
I mean, airplanes. I've seen some movies on airplanes recently.
That does not count.
No.
I read my friend who's really into movies said you have to go see Nope in the theaters, the biggest screen you can
Nope.
find.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one looks
Yeah.
good. I want to see that
Yeah.
one. I like
And
those.
I'm like, maybe I'll go back to the theater for that, just for that one recommendation. But I think the last theater movie I saw was in IMAX, and it was when the first of the new Star Wars came out, like 7 years ago.
Oh wow.
I think. Yeah. Had to
That's a
see
long
something.
time ago.
Yeah, but I can't remember. Been a while.
I've seen.
Been a
something else
while.
recently,
Chat, what are the most recent movies you have seen in theaters recently? No spoilers.
You have a Deadpool 2, which also was a pretty good film. I enjoyed it.
I never saw one. It's I keep
Are there
forgetting.
3 now?
I'm terrible. There's certain movies.
No.
So the Deadpool 2 then is the one with like the X-Men like taking more. Deadpool 2 was ridiculous. They're both
Deadpool
ridiculous.
With Cable. Yeah. He was
Yeah.
Cable.
You like the first one was so ridiculous, and then I was like, "Oh,
Hey,
careful,
Ray.
Cantrip!
Wow.
Hey, welcome, guys. Welcome in, McBluff. I see you there. Welcome. I know all these people. Mindari. Careful, Cantrip has DM Dave. I know a lot of them. Welcome in, guys. We are doing a little lounge night. I have 2 of the players in my campaign that we run here on Wednesday nights. And yeah, instead of being off, we decided to come on here and answer questions about our world, answer questions about lore. So something pretty cool for you guys. This miniature I'm painting is a Wildspire miniature. Wildspire and me are the ones who created Solon, the world. And there was a little side quest campaign, a little 2-parter, where they encountered these tiefling outlanders, these samurai mounted combat. Chelsea, do you want to talk about that, like how that was for you? Like, what did you enjoy about that? And like being in you can talk about your character. You can talk about like
Which encounter?
the side quest. The
Side quest.
Yeah, so like with the Outlanders, the
Yes.
chieftain, yeah.
Yes. So this side quest was supposed to be one night or 2 nights, and we never got to finish it.
Right, we haven't finished it. Yeah.
So that's the big bummer, is we were mid combat and we were so close to defeating the big baddie chieftain, and they were all on horseback, and we were getting messed up. We all had to transport safely some mysterious cargo that we didn't know what it was. I did get a peek. My character got a peek, and I saw a chest, but that's that's as far as we got. We had to safely transport it to another city, and we knew that there was somebody among us that was not who they said they were. And so we had a little bit of espionage, not espionage. What's the word I'm looking for? We had some bet. Somebody.
Daily. Sorry.
It's okay.
Daily, I know mostly from a Twitch stream called Maddie Morgs. Maddie Morgs runs a game store. Actually, I don't even know what state it's in. And he does a lot of streams about mini painting. He does a campaign. He has a live play campaign. And then so Daily knows Wildspire Miniatures through there as well. Ohio.
I like the spelling of their name, Daily. Ooh,
Daily, you're a mod, right? Of Maddie
very
Morg's
cool
channel, I believe.
spelling.
I think Daily's a heavy hitter in there. Sorry. Okay. So what you said about the not espionage, but like a little bit of double agent work or
Double agent work. I know there's another word I'm looking for. Chad, you guys can help me out. I'm struggling with my adjectives here. But the chat has some questions for you, Colin, I think.
Oh.
We've got any suggestions for 3D printers?
Oh, I don't. Unfortunately, I've never printed my own, and So the way I do know that these aren't traditionally printed. These are mold printed. So these are the types where you have to pay for the construction of these steel molds that then get filled. It's more of a liquid plastic fill method for
Like
these
resin,
ones.
but plastic?
Yeah.
Well, resin, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, now that I've bought like a lot of different sets, it's kind of cool. Ryan from Wildspire will occasionally send me sets that he finds on Amazon because he wants to know like how his sets compare with some of his competitors. So I definitely have like sets in here of stuff that I've been painting and I still have to pay. I have a lot of. I'd say I have over like 200 minis left to paint. I've probably painted like 90. And I think I have another 200 left to paint. Is it ISOcast? Is that what you're trying to say? Or I just know that like you have to get there's two types of molds. You can get the steel molds that last a lot longer, or for cheaper you can get silicone molds, and that's how they pour it in. That's why these aren't usually they're not hard to clean up because they only have the pour points instead of having like sprue connector areas. I need to learn more about the dang way these are made, huh? Take a look at the Frozen Sonic Mini 4K 3D printer. Just depends on how large you want to print the figures. Yeah, I know. I have a buddy. I have a buddy who did. He had. I mean, his application. He was a scientist. He was using it to make like resin chambers for bacterial growth. I don't even know. But then he also used them to make miniatures. So I know that like there should be plenty out there. You should have a pretty good variety of selection of the 3D printers. But the biggest thing you want to look at is what type of plastic is your favorite to print, and if that printer prints that type of plastic, because the plastic does matter. You know, like some plastic is better than other plastic. So definitely you want to be able to have the capability to print the plastic that you want.
How long does it take you to finish painting a mini?
It depends on how complex it is. Most, like one like this will be like a 3 session. If I did 2-3 hour streams, I could get it done, but I typically don't rush. And I'm one of those that like I put a lot of attention into my base coat, which most people don't. Most really professional painters would have gone on and put down the first several layers of base coat really sloppily and quickly, and then they would have gone in and cleaned it up. For some reason, it's more in the art to me than it is the like finishing quickly, and so I really enjoy, because I don't really visualize the finished product. So as I'm going, I'm enjoying like making the clean lines and seeing how they'll look towards the end.
It's the enjoyment of doing it, not
Yeah.
just the finished work.
Yeah, and I do watch quite a few people that stream mini painting, and definitely there's a big field for people that do commissions, right? Like, especially in Warhammer, right? There's some Warhammer pieces that are massive. I mean, just like they'd be the size of like a young red dragon or something in D&D, or adult red dragon or something. And people will pay $200 to get those pieces painted by a professional painter. Darling Creepshow on her paint nights. No, I haven't seen that one. I watch. There's several Warhammer ones I watch. Kayla Larson paints, Nikki Coles. There's a lot of couples. There's a lot of like the English. There's definitely 2 channels I watch that's an English couple that just paint together. So it's a guy and a girl that are just like painting together. It's fun to hear the banter and see their paints.
That purple looks a little bit like Shay's skin tone.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll have to paint a mini for my bard.
I would totally do that. And honestly, I've talked to Ryan about it. Like, if he ever does another Heroes set, I think I'm going to try to convince him to have the Heroes of Salon heroes be miniatures in one of his hero sets.
The heroes. If there's any heroes.
Yeah, if it is any
heroes.
of them, it's these ones right here.
So I'm playing a Verdan bard. And a Verdan is from one of what is it? Something.
Eberron?
No, it's what I think I'm missing the Acquisitions Incorporated.
Oh.
And it's almost like a goblin, but they're from the Underdark and they don't remember their past and how they got to like the plane of existence. They are like to the realm, and it's kind of a new one that not a lot of people use. And so I have telepathic abilities, and limited. I don't know where I came from.
Limited.
Very limited. We should actually, while we're on that topic, every time I cast or like go to use it, it's not casting, but I mean, should we talk kind of in detail, or just you decide that's too much, or because I just try to keep it simple.
I like it's okay that you tell me as much detail as you want, but the way I've been doing it is the way it describes it is like it's almost like a mental picture. You can like just it's more of like portraying a feeling or like a thought or a picture, and that's how like I've been kind of treating it as. It's not so
instead of
like,
a sentence.
Instead of a sentence, it's more of a thought or a feeling.
I like that, because I think that's actually perfect, because if I remember some of the times I've played it, that's why like when I look and I go trust, and I just like I've been throwing out like, you know, just like general words that would thematically make that other character, like if I'm relaying trust, peace, or something, it's like I'm not saying you can trust me. I'm friend, ally, you know. So maybe I'll just keep kind of rolling with that. Is like giving out these kind of like general, you know.
Yeah.
I like that.
Emotions.
Okay. Yeah, emotions, or you know, not just emotions, but even in, like an action. If I go run, you know,
sure.
Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't. You know, in the moment, I'll probably try to think of visuals, but like if you say run, you could like maybe picture like a herd of buffalo running away. I don't know if that would work in any application, but like something like that where it's a clear
like, what's
sign
a
that
buffalo?
like,
I've never seen a buffalo.
Yeah.
That's definitely an extinct magical creature that.
Now I'm gonna make a buffalo just to.
Yes,
just to
please. Buffaloes are cool.
You know what? It would have to be, I think I would make it a mix between a buffalo and a hippopotamus, because I love how the internet will always show you those like hippopotamus are incredibly aggressive. Like if you are within 50 feet of a hippopotamus, you're like half dead.
I think you just created a monster, a hippopotamus.
A hippo hybrid needs to happen.
A hippo. Wow. Now I gotta like Google this. Maybe somebody's already created it.
My wife found there's these memes out there that show like if aliens found some of our creatures' bones, like what they think it would look like, and the hippo is one of them, or the skull, based on the skull, like an artist rendering of what the animal that a hippo skull would be is like this monster with these huge fangs and like this.
I've seen
like,
this.
Yeah, and then it shows you like just a happy little hippo, filling out the
Yeah.
skulls.
I've seen this recently. Yeah, happy hippo, happy until it wants to murder you or you get too close to it in the water. But yeah. All right, hippo, buffalo, you guys. And if anybody artists out there want to render this monstrosity that Colin has just created canon for his game.
I mean, realistically, where would it be in my world? It would be in the Outlands. A hippo buffalo.
Where? Yeah. Oh yeah. What would we call it? A buffalo?
Buffapoyamus.
A buffalo.
Buffalopomus.
Buffalopalopolis?
Hippolo. I like Hippolo. I mean, Hippolo's easy.
Hippolo's easy, but I think we could get. Oh, buff. What did Baka say?
Buffapotamus.
Okay.
He says Buffapoyamus, but it could be Buffapotamus.
Buffapotamus.
That's too friendly sounding. They're like, I want to go hang out with the Buffapotamus. Not run for your life. It's the Buffa. Have you heard of the Gruffalo? It's a kid's book. It's a really good kids book.
No.
But the Gruffalo, yeah, is a large monster. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's too
Buffapotamus.
funny.
All right, guys, we are getting pretty close to 2 hours. We're going to wrap it up here in the next 5 minutes or so. This is where I'm going to stop. So another thing that's interesting about mini painting, I don't take notes. And so, like, if I mix paints, it's always fun to come back like a month later when I haven't painted and then be like, I need to clean up this skin tone, but I don't remember the combination or recipe I used to get that color.
She looks good so far.
Thank you. Yeah, I like where it's at and where it's going to go. Some of these parts are going to be really easy to paint. Like, honestly, if I was focused doing the skirt and some of the accents like the hilt, those will be really quick. The hair will be really quick to fill out. So I get another hour on this thing. Pretty much all the base coat colors will be down and good to go.
I'm dancing and waving to Alvin.
All right.
Sorry, Chad.
No. Those are nice and organized. Thank you, though. Those are organized by color and probably other factors as well. Can I put them back? They don't just
Furry
go
sea
anywhere.
cow.
This one goes right here,
Furry
and that one
sea
goes right
cow.
here. Can I show you? That one goes right there.
Furry sea.
Thank you.
Way bigger than a cow, though.
Furry sea cow. Okay, before we head out, because we have some new people here, you know what I'm gonna do? Because I want to, and we didn't do it yet. I want to play our intro, guys. If you, there's a lot of friends that came in from Careful Cantrip. I know, watching a lot of campaigns, it's hard to do, but I'm really proud of this video. So we're gonna play this video real quick. Then we'll come back and say bye and find somewhere else to send you on to next. So we don't go anywhere. I'm gonna show this video, and we'll be right back for a final goodbye before we ship on out.
And if you have any final questions for us, this would be the time to drop them in chat.
Definitely. All right, we will be right back.
Solon, a world caught just outside the blessed fields of Elysium. Home to the migrated Gardenals, celestial animal kin searching for adventure. The Sun Guard are the protectors of this realm, standing against the forces of evil that seek to disrupt a lasting peace. It has been over 100 years since Bel's dark invasion faltered at Boiler Bay. In the north, Pelor's warming glow bestows prosperity to the nations of light. But in the south, a new story unfolds.
Alrighty, I hope you all enjoyed that little video. I really had a lot of fun putting that together. We have a friend at -2 Charisma that put the video together. A lot of the art is in our PDFs and commissioned from the community. On that note, you can see, I think my son is ready for me to be off the computer. We are going to find somewhere to raid. Guys, have a good rest of your night. We will see you soon. Take care. All right, bye-bye.